Hello, ScouseCaspa. My name is Abu. I'm here because you have some questions about beating women in Islam, and clearly you have no understanding of how we work in Islam. I'm here to help you out with those questions, you infidel whore. Wait, get away! Get away, infidel! Get away! Infidel kitty. Now that we have that little problem out of the way, we will go on to your first question, ScouseCaspa.
Do you think women in Islamic countries or Muslims actually believe that being beaten by their husband is a sign of masculinity? Do you think?
You ask if Muslim women ever see being abused by their husbands as a sign of masculinity. First, I will read you a passage from the Qu'ran, clarifying men's position over women in Islam. This is the Qu'ran, chapter 4, verse 34. Men are superior to women on account of the qualities with which God has gifted the one above the other, and on account of the outlay they make from their substance to them. Virtuous women are obedient, careful during husband's absence, because God has of them been careful. But chide those for whose refractoriness you have to fear. Remove them into beds apart, and scourge them. But if they are obedient to you, then seek not occasion against them. Verily, Allah is high. The Quran tells us not to beat our women, but rather to reprimand them, to leave them alone in bed, and only as a last resort, to beat them. Being masculine is only having the property characteristics of a male. Therefore, since the Quran commands men to beat their women in the occasion that they deserve it, it is a masculine trait because it is having the property characteristics of a male. Now we will move on to your second question, Miss Caspa.
Do you think a woman ever desires to be beat up by her husband?
Does a woman ever desire to be abused by her husband? Well, let me ask you a question, Miss Caspa. Does a pig or a donkey ever desire to be beaten by their owner? No. Just like livestock, women must sometimes be trained, so that way they know the proper way of doing things. It is very simple what we ask of our women in Islam. First of all, we ask that they obey our every command. Second, we ask that you make yourself beautiful and not let yourself go. We ask that you not refuse our sexual desires, that you not leave the house without permission, and that you not neglect your religious duties. If you obey all of these things, you will not be beaten. It is simple as that. Now we will move on to your third and final question, Miss Caspa.
Do you believe personally that if a man beats up a wife, it's a show of his masculinity? Or
do you think spousal abuse is ever a sign of masculinity? You ask far too many questions to be an infidel whore. You spend too much of your time dancing, giggling, and exposing your bare buttocks. Do you know what would happen to you in my country if you did such whorish things? You would be beaten. That is the answer to your question. Perhaps what you need to have happen is you need to be circumcised. A bull will take you. It is very cheap in my country. It will calm you down. We will see if that will not help you. Well, Miss Caspa, I hope I have given you some informative information about Islam. May Allah be praised.